Welcome to MWEB's Entrepreneur Zone. Today I've got Steve Binos with me from eLead. Welcome, Steve.
Great, Paul. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Tell us a bit about your business.
Well, it's a young business, been around 3 years. We like to think it occupies a fairly distinct space in the South African online landscape, in that it's targeting specifically companies that want to market to other businesses as opposed to consumers, and companies in that middle space where they're not micro enterprises. They're starting to get more organized, and so they have a modest but an allocated marketing budget, and they just know that they should be making more of their online presence and the potential of their websites and social media presence to actually get more inquiries into their business. So we saw the opportunity to firstly wrap an approach that we believe is the best bang for the buck and kind of productize it. And then secondly, within that, to take all of the time-intensive elements of it onto our team so that customers can get on with just following up their leads. So hence the name eLead, online lead generation, although we're not just we're not in that genre of, there's a form online and you go and you fill in your detail, that kind of thing. We embrace a philosophy that many people call content marketing, which is basically saying intrinsically the marketing that we're doing is itself adding value on someone's journey of trying to decipher, what is important when deciding on a vendor for X, Y, or Z. So that's eLead.
And your target market are businesses selling to other businesses that aren't big enough to potentially have a full-blown marketing department, but know that they need to play in that space.
I'd say that's our sweet spot, where they've got one or two people, they're running around, they're organizing events, they're doing all sorts of things, and the tricky thing about an effective online marketing strategy and then ongoing campaign is that you don't just need one skill set. You actually need a little slice of a whole bunch. You need someone who's great at paid search, when you click on Google Ads, search engine optimization, someone who knows how to write articles for the web, so people read at a glance. We talk about people reading in an F pattern. They read that first line, down a bit, shorter second line, and then that's it. So there's a nous, we say it's not technology, it's technique in how to get results from your online marketing and how to do it in a way that is really not trying to flog people, and trick them into parting with their details, but starting to establish a relationship ultimately where they become a trusted voice on a certain subject matter. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Sitting under the hood really are people in your business. It's skilled people. How do you make sure that you get the right people and that you keep them motivated and performing for your clients?
We try hard like everyone, particularly in our space, because good people are so hard to come by. We've got a kind of rule of thumb of 3 C's, competence, obviously, and then character, and then thirdly, chemistry, which is a big one for us in terms of how do they fit into what our company is about. And we always think we're trying to build the kind of company that we'd like to work for. So, working hard at the environment, making it a great place to work. I read recently Peter Drucker said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And so when you've got that winning culture and a team that are thriving, I think most things take care of themselves.
And from a client perspective, because this is not something that you can guarantee, how do you deal with the situation where a client has expectations that they're going to, often I go online and I'm suddenly going to be flooded with new business, but it doesn't work that way. How do you manage those expectations and that realization that it's not as easy as they may have thought?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. At first we shied away from those moments of decision and reckoning. And we've learned over time that we have to manage that upfront very clearly. So we have a conversation of what would success look like? What would success look like for you as a business or a division? And then we connect that all the way down to what would success look like in terms of this campaign and what you're paying us for these opportunities. Of course, a big factor in that is what is the margin that you're making per sale? You know, if you're making 5,000 Rand, then you've got to work pretty hard. But if you're making 500,000 Rand, then potentially, you know, one sale in a year could cover what you are paying us with change. So there's various factors. We've developed a tool that we make available to our clients so they can do all of this calculation for themselves.
It's quite a crowded and busy area, the online marketing space. How do you compete in there where you've got, you know, individuals, you've got quite large companies playing in that space, you can do it yourself. How have you differentiated in competing? Mainly
is productizing your service offering is, you know, the bulk of what we've chatted about now. That I hope our competitors don't watch this video, but if you go online and you Google in Cape Town digital marketing services or whatever, I can guarantee that 90% of the sites that you come back with, the agencies and so on, they give a shopping list of digital services. That approach doesn't help the potential client who has a business problem, doesn't have specialized knowledge. So he needs to bake a cake, calling for the right ingredients and the right combinations, you know. And so I think we compete by having said, we'll bake the cake for you. Let's just talk about whether you want chocolate or strawberry or whatever. The technology and the industry and the social media, it moves really, really quickly. How do you stay pace with that? Because a lot of people are talking about these things, but our team is literally doing it every day. And we've learned so many things by working out what doesn't work, you know. So we've learned by doing predominantly. Google have been very helpful to us. A couple of years ago, they got hold of us out of Ireland, and they said they wanted to put us on this program where they allocate a specialist kind of mentor to us as an agency. And so our team has had a very warm relationship with a Spaniard who lives in Ireland, who works for Google, who we've never met, but they chat to him weekly. And so he's helped us sharpen up there. It really is just getting feedback from the campaigns. You kind of see people vote with their feet. So some things that were working in the early days, you know, not working so great anymore. Part of the difficulty in the online space is a lot of people have been burnt. They've spent money on a website or on a Facebook campaign or search engine optimization and had no results. So brand is a big thing, and trusting your brand. How have you built the eLead brand? It's kind of like when you go to a surgeon and you have to have the surgery and you're very fearful. He empowers you by giving you information. And once you know what's happening, you feel empowered because you kind of can make decisions. So it's really the same thing. We try and demystify online digital marketing because we do realize it's easy to hide behind things like SEO, search engine optimization, and you can charge a retainer and say, trust me, this is good for you, without much effect, frankly. I think I can say that we're quick to declare when we're not actually succeeding on behalf of a client. We'd rather go to them and say, look, we need to try something different because it's not working, before they say to us, let's have a cup of coffee. You know. So I don't know if I can answer it beyond that, but just, you know, not pretending that we kind of have some black art, but just quite transparent about what we're doing. And from a business model perspective, having a productized version versus having to go out and do project-based work gives you some advantages? This is not my first business, and something that I learnt when guys came in to evaluate my previous business is the effect on the value of the equity in that business if it's not annuitized income, if it's a sort of a cash type of ad hoc income model. So this time around, part of the plan was to build something that's personality independent. It's not all dependent on me. And to build something that is annuitized so that it just becomes part of a customer's way of doing business, and we don't have to keep reselling to them every day.
You've been at the business for 3 years. As you say, you've been involved in other businesses. Where do you see the business going?
Our mid-term plan is global domination. So when we started this business, we did have a software as a service kind of paradigm, which is there's no reason this business can't be delivered virtually, all the services and all the engagement. And we actually built it to kick off on that basis, supporting multiple currencies and all that. I think we learned that we needed to learn to walk before we could run. And so we've taken the better part of 3 years to learn from projects that we're doing in South Africa. And it's only recently that we've started taking on clients in Australia, and we are now looking at an additional funding round to take our platform to the next level, and to really make it the kind of service where a lot of what is currently real life interactions are video based and interactive online tools for people to, for example, distill a strategy for their eLead campaign and so on. So we hope in the next 3 years to have penetrated Australia further. Canada and the UK are also 2 areas where we're in conversations, and we're hoping to move forward there.
Just to the rapid fire questions. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Productize your service offering.
And your best moment as an entrepreneur?
One of our clients, the MD of a client, standing up in front of his whole staff and saying, eLead's the best thing we've done this whole year.
And what's been your biggest mistake?
Overthinking the value of bootstrapping, and so taking too long to get to where we want to be.
What qualities does an entrepreneur need to succeed?
You need to be able to back yourself and be robust, and you can't be a perfectionist. 95% executed is better than 100% not executed.
What inspires you as an entrepreneur?
I think the web just inspires me. I think this must be one of the best generations to be alive, because the web in our lifetime has made so many things that were impossible possible.
What do you look for in people that you work with?
Competence, character, and chemistry with our team. And they've got to be sparky. I always think it's easier to rein in the stallion than raise the dead.
What makes South Africa a good place to be a small business owner?
You and I can start a business this afternoon in our lounge and go and pitch tomorrow at a big corporate, and they'll take us seriously.
What would you do differently?
I would think bigger up front. I would understand what venture capitalists are looking for, and I would get properly funded so that you can start at scale.
What keeps you awake at night?
I sleep at night.
And what gets you going in the morning?
100 push-ups before coffee.
Steve, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Great being here.
And thank you. We look forward to the coming weeks. We will bring you further South African entrepreneurs. I'm Paul Hobden. Thank you and goodbye.